Hey everybody, happy Friday. Hey, can you guys hear me now? I wasn't sure if I was live or not. That's why I was quiet for a second. Hey Hazel. I think I'm on YouTube as well. Hi Auntie Cheryl. Hi Jenny. Jenny, you're always the first one in here. I love it. Hi Norma. Auntie Cheryl. I saw your picture today in my news feed on Facebook and you're so beautiful. You really are. Thank you on D Live for all of the lemons and diamonds and ice creams. What's up, Chrissy? Chrissy, are you enjoying this trial? Did you guys enjoy today's testimony? What's up, Mary? Hi, Kristen. I told you, Kristen. Just for you. I'm on the tubes. My chat's not working on the screen. Is it? We're gonna get going and talk about what happened today in court. But before we do that, I want to try to fix my my chat. Thank you for the diamond. I just heard the little thingies. Can you guys hear those or no? Can you hear the alerts from D Live YouTube? All right, let me get this chat working. I like just looking at my screen and not having to I can't click back and forth between the two platforms, so it works out really well for me to have it on the screen. Then that way I can just watch chat and I see both. So hold on one sec. Well, I'm yeah, Mary, when I say like enjoying it, I mean like us people who, you know, follow true crime, we love trials like this, you know, that are pretty controversial and stuff. That's what I meant. Like, are you enjoying it? Not. It is very sad. It still makes me sick that it even happened, to be honest. I can't even imagine. This poor guy. There's my chat. Okay, let me know if you guys can see the chat box and if there's any chat going on in the chat box. Yeah, I know, Mary. It's like, it's heartbreaking, you know, but at the same time, it's also interesting. Oh, Chrissy and her power outage. Like, what the heck, Chrissy? Okay, there we go. Now I have both chats in front of me. Sweet. All right. You haven't been keeping up? Oh, you have or haven't, Robbie? You haven't been? But it sounds like you have been because you know it's sad. Or is it too sad to keep up on? It really is scary to think that that could happen. What do you mean, who am I talking to, Hazel? Hey, Sonia. Hey, Cubby. Mary said she thinks the neighbor who walked into the lady's apartment was compelling. Yeah, I do too. Thank you, Shell. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, you've just been busy. Yeah, it is interesting. I know real life gets in the way, Robbie. I get it. But last night I did a quick video just recapping the first 4 days, and then tonight I'm going to be talking about just today. Today's testimony was Amber Guyger herself. Just pretty interesting and pretty emotional, and I can't wait to hear your guys' opinions on what you think, you know, really went on there, and if you believe her story, if you believe what she says happened. So excuse me. You know, one thing I haven't figured out, not to change the subject, but one thing I haven't figured out about this Mac is when I have more than one window open, how do I find them on Chrome? Does anyone know? Because I have one, not window, but tab. No, not tabs. The windows. So I have two Chrome windows open, but I can only click to one. I don't know how to find the other ones. I keep just opening new ones because I can't find the old one. If that makes sense. Do we have any skilled people in here? Cut off? What do you cut off? What do you mean? We're live. We're live. Bye, Robbie. Hope you have a great night too. Yeah, speed watch it, Robbie, because it's going to be going on tomorrow too. They're having court on Saturday. What's up, Casey girl? Let's see. Georgia dog. Come on. What do you mean? Come on. I know he says one word. Georgia dogs in the house. Oh my goodness. All right. Hey, Mike. What's happening? Everyone give Mike a warm welcome. Mike and Team Phoenix are like, me and Mike love Team Phoenix, right? And Norma. Everybody should love Team Phoenix. I called in on their show earlier today too, and I feel like I was a total chatterbox, and I think I irritated Dad TV. Just kidding. Mike feels warm already. All right, so let's talk about day 5 because it was an interesting day. Excuse me. Oh, it's buffering. It's probably this restream that's making it buffer. I don't know why, but every time that Chrome window disappears, that's so weird. So I hope are you guys having a great Friday? You got any good weekend plans? I don't. I'm going with someone to the eye doctor tomorrow. That's about it. That's the most of my excitement for the weekend. Something's going on Sunday. Oh yeah. That's not all that exciting though. It's kind of sad, so I don't want to talk about it. So, moving forward, Jay tried tapping the mouse without clicking it. You see, oh, let me see. Huh, no, I didn't, but I'm okay. I've got everything. I got everything I need. I just had to open up a new window again. So let me check chat one more time before we get started. No plans. Jenny has no plans. Chrissy R is going on the mountain. She's always doing something fun. I'll have to try it when I get off, Samantha. Let's see. But thank you. Thank you for that. I just don't want to click the wrong thing while I'm live. That would be a disaster. Cheers Sunday. Yeah, Sundays are for relaxing. Hub, Chinese sounds good. Dude, we had Chinese the other night and it was the grossest experience. It was so nasty. This place is usually really, really good. And it was really bad. It made us sick. Crafting. I love Kebby's crafts. All right, so excuse me. That's exciting, Jenny. New carpet. All right, so let's talk about day 5. Amber Guyger took the stand today in her own defense. So if you watched it, you saw. If you didn't, she was sobbing. But the prosecution said that she had other options before she confronted John and cared more about herself than the dying man after she shot him. So that's what the prosecution is saying. She was more worried about herself. She wasn't worried about him per se. And I don't know if I believe that or not. I mean, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't think this girl is like a cold-blooded killer, you know? I think she has a conscience and has a heart. I mean, what are your thoughts? You think she was in shock? I mean, what'd you think of her behavior today on the stand? Yeah, I agree. Mary said he laid into her pretty hard today. So what she said today is that here's a quote. "I was scared whoever was inside my apartment was going to kill me, and I'm sorry," Guyger said. Her voice was shaking, and she said, "I have to live with that every single day." I think she came across as nervous, sweet. I agree. I think her getting on the stand was the best thing for her. I really do. Okay, so then the prosecution went on further to say that Guyger could have retreated before she opened the door and even afterwards. They said she could have backed off, used her police radio to call for help. Police headquarters is just a few blocks away from her apartment. So why didn't she use her radio? Why did she call 911? Why didn't she use her radio? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a police officer. So I don't really know what would make her call 911 versus, you know, just getting on the radio. She does look very emotionally drained. She looks terrible. I kind of, you know, I feel for her. Because she does seem like a sweet girl. But the law is the law, right? And I guess that's what you have to think about when you're on a jury is did they commit this crime they're accused of? And did the prosecution deliver their case without a shadow of a doubt? Those are the two things. You can't think how cute she is, how sweet she is, how, you know, to be a fair jury, you have to put all that aside and you just have to look at the facts. And the facts are she killed an innocent man in his own home. So this is going to be interesting to see how the jury decides, just because I think it's going to be real divided, you know. Everybody knows she didn't do it on purpose. We know she didn't mean to kill this guy. But on the other hand, she still did. So you're going to have people who think, oh, well, she didn't mean to do it. She didn't think it was her apartment. And you're going to have other people who think she did it. That's the law. Done. But see, they don't have a choice of manslaughter. It's either murder or she walks or a hung jury. So one of those three things. And I just think it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Hey, Jamie. So here's a clip of Amber talking about why she killed John. And she goes on, she says she was scared, blah, blah, blah. So here, I'm going to let you watch it. See what you think. Hold on, I suddenly lost sound. I don't know what happened. So hold on one sec. Let me pause this. Hold on, I can fix it. I see the problem. Bear with me, guys. All right, let's try this again. She looks really sad. I mean, I'm not trying to laugh, but she does. She looks really sad and really bad. All right, let's see if this works. Is there still no sound? Does the video have sound? Because I'm looking and it seems like it doesn't. Yeah, I didn't think so. All right. Different route. Here we go.
Whoever was inside my apartment was gonna kill me. And I'm sorry. I have to live with that every single day that I heard. Now that how do you feel about it? No police officer ever would want to hurt an innocent person. I can't understand. You feel what you feel. A terrible person. I feel like a piece of crap. I hate that I have to live with this every single day of my life. And I ask God for forgiveness, and I hate myself every single day. I feel like I don't deserve the chance to be with my family and friends. I wish he was the one with the gun that killed me. I never wanted to take an innocent person's life. I am so sorry. This is not about hate. It's about being scared that night.
Okay. Let me turn this down a little bit. I had to use my mic for that sound. Sorry if the sound was kind of bad. I don't know why all of a sudden the sound decided to quit there. But at any rate, yeah, she's very upset. I see, I'm reading chat and I see like fake tears, things like that. Now, do you guys really think that she's shedding crocodile tears? Because I don't. I think she feels bad. I think she's genuine. Why do you guys think that she would fake the tears? Yeah, I don't believe they are either. I think she's genuinely upset. It's horrible, and I'm sure she will regret it for the rest of her life. But the question is, and this is what I have for you, is I was reading the definition of murder in Texas. In the definition, one of the first things was that you took another person's life, basically. Let me find it again, because to me it was pretty cut and dry that she committed murder. Let me pull it up again. Let me go and get that and read it to you, because I found it interesting. Unless somebody knows different, I don't think they can go to a lesser charge. The judge could. I mean, the judge could make it a lesser charge for sure. I think she's the only one that can. I don't think the jury has that option, is what I'm saying. All right, so the difference between, oh, someone asked about the difference between manslaughter and murder, but Texas doesn't have first degree and second degree murder like most states do. And we talked a little bit last night about this, but murder charges, in order to be charged with murder, and this comes straight from a law firm in Dallas, actually. In order to be charged with murder, the defendant must have knowingly and willingly caused the death of another person. Okay, so let's repeat that. The person must have knowingly and willingly caused the death of another person. So ask yourself, did Amber knowingly and willingly kill him? Because I think she admitted on the stand today that she did. So during her testimony today, and we will get to that in a second, but during her testimony today, she was looking directly at the parents of John. And she looked at them and she said, this is not about hate, it's about being scared. So she wanted to get this message to his family that, you know, this isn't about hate. This isn't a hate crime. I didn't have anything against your son. It's very hard to just to put yourself in these people's shoes. But she said that she did it purposely. And to me, that kind of fits that definition. So if I was a jury member and the judge told me, look, this is the definition of murder, knowingly and willingly take another person's life, I would think that, she almost fits that bill. I feel bad for her, but she did it, mistake or not. And I'm not, she thought it was her apartment. Yeah, Smurfette. This is just a really strange case. So then the lead prosecutor, he grilled her pretty harshly. And he focused on a moment of her testimony when she said being alone with John after she shot him was the scariest thing she could imagine. And he fired back and he said, that's the scariest thing you can imagine? Right? And she said, yes, sir. And he said, can you imagine Mr. John's perspective? An intruder barging in his apartment and then having been shot and fallen and being alone in that apartment. Can't you imagine that being a little bit scarier than you just being alone at the moment? And she said, yes, sir. So they're really hammering her. So let's look at this video of her kind of being hammered by the prosecutor.
I put the key in, and I hear moving around. As the door began to open, I wanted to find the threat. As the door was opened fully, that's when you saw the silhouette.
Yes, sir.
So you knew from outside that door, with the protection of that door between you, there was something inside that was making noise.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here were your options. Your options were, at this point, go in and find the threat, or your option would have been, I'm going to back off I'm going to take a position of cover and concealment, and I'm going to get some help out here. Those are options, right?
They are.
You chose option A, which was I'm going in to find the threat.
It was the only option that went through my head. I was at home, and
Ma'am, will you answer my question?
Yes, sir.
You chose to go in and find the threat, even though you were in a position to have taken cover and concealment, right?
No, sir.
Your training several times revert to.
Yes, I have.
You rely on that.
Yes, I do.
That's why when you done, right?
Yes, sir.
That's why you keep your right hand empty.
Yes, sir.
That's why you backed your truck in, right?
Yes, sir.
Special police.
Yes, sir.
You're telling me at the moment of the entire thing, your training just abandoned you.
No, sir.
Your training said, at this point, officer, maximize. Do not go inside that apartment.
On a call.
Ma'am, your general order, you are on.
They do.
You know that that training is designed for your safety, first and foremost.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But for your safety, you should have taken a position of cover and concealment and find help. Instead, you decided to go in.
Yes, I did go in.
That a police radio line.
I did. It did. Yes, sir.
Call out as a number one thing. Every other police
Yes, sir.
know that the response time. This call, 2 minutes. Body's right.
Yes, sir.
So you could have taken a position of cover and concealment. You could have called for help on the radio. You could have had the cavalry.
They could have.
You could have had SWAT.
They could have.
You could have had canine.
They could have also.
Had you done any of those?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm reading chat and I agree with a couple of you wholeheartedly. Mary, she needs to pay for her deadly mistake and her complete lack of sound judgment, but life in prison is way too extreme. I agree with that totally. And I think that she should not have been shooting to kill at that point. And I have to disagree that just because she thought it was her house doesn't make it self-defense. You can't have it that way. It's black and white. You can't break into someone's house, kill them and say, "Oh, I thought it was my house." You can't do that. If it was her house and someone broke into her house, yes. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. It doesn't matter what state you live in. You don't have to live in Texas to have a right to defend yourself. But she broke into his house. I mean, everyone's responsible for their actions. So, I mean, if you don't hold her responsible for her actions, I mean, why do you hold why do you hold Ted Bundy responsible for his actions? He was mentally ill, no? I mean, where do you draw the line? You have to keep the law cut and dry. You can't play on emotion. I mean, she either did the crime she's accused of or she didn't, or they didn't prove their case. But the bottom line is she walked into someone else's house, whether it was on purpose or on an accident. She still did it. Just like Ted Bundy murdered numerous women. he did it out of mental illness, but he still did it. And regardless if he had a mental illness or not, he was still put in the electric chair. But she did it. She intended to kill him when she opened the door and she shot at his chest. She didn't shoot at his leg. She didn't try to injure him. And she just admitted that she was shooting to kill. Now, I agree with this prosecutor. Why didn't she call for help? Why didn't she call for backup? What was she doing? Calling 911. Her boyfriend was an officer, for Christ's sake. She had just gotten off the phone with them. Why didn't she take a step back out of the apartment and call him at the very least? You know, hey, dude, I think someone's in my apartment. Can you come help me? I mean, come on. There's a million other things she could have done rather than walk into her apartment like a badass. I kind of feel like she was being a badass. And even female, male cops get this, chip on their shoulder or whatever, but female cops can be just as bad with the, I love police officers, don't get me wrong, but they get a little high on their authority at times. So she was the mistress, so she couldn't call him. Oh, I didn't know he was married. Well, regardless if she was the mistress or not, I mean, does it really matter? I guess that makes her character look bad. But I don't feel like in this case it really matters if she was a mistress or not. All right, so let's move forward. Hey, Michelle. Okay, so let's move forward in that. So where were we? Okay, so Jason Hermes is a former police officer. He's the lead prosecutor in this case. He's a former police officer, and he said that Guyger had shot John directly in the chest, right where she was trained to shoot as a police officer. And he asked her, when you aimed and pulled the trigger at Mr. John, shooting him center mass, right where you are trained, you intended to kill Mr. John. She said, I did. So intent is a crucial thing for the prosecutors to establish because it sets murder apart from a reckless act like manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide. Those are lesser charges that it says here the jury could ultimately consider if the judge gives them the option. So the judge has to give them that option. They can't just come back with that. And I have a feeling the judge probably will. So she was the first witness. And this is the first time she spoke out publicly since the shooting. She talked about her childhood. She talked about her affair with her married police partner, her training as an officer. And I noticed too, when they talked about the training, she didn't remember what she learned. I thought that was interesting. They were like, what'd you learn in that training? She said, I don't know. So, most importantly, she talked about the night that she confused John's apartment for her own. About an hour into her testimony, she broke down in tears. And then she was asked to demonstrate how she entered the apartment that night. And she started sobbing, and the DA was like, or the prosecutor was like, we need to take a break. She insisted no, that they keep going. So then she said she had yet to open the front door when she heard shuffling inside what she believed to be her apartment. She said she had yet to open, or she heard the shuffling. She knew someone was moving around inside the apartment, so she just wanted to find out what the threat was. When she stuck the key in the lock, pushing it open because the latch had malfunctioned, she saw the silhouette of a person in the dark. She pulled her gun with her right hand. Her backpack, lunchbox, and vest were in the other hand, and she shouted at Jean. She said, let me see your hands, let me see your hands. She said that John began walking towards her quickly and yelled, "Hey, hey, hey," in an aggressive tone, of course, because she was in his freaking apartment. in an aggressive tone before she fired twice from where she was standing in the door frame. So she says that she was scared he was going to kill her. So, again, yes, they're having court on Saturday, you guys. So after the 2 shots, she walked into the apartment. She realized it wasn't her house when she noticed the ottoman. So it started hitting her that she had no idea who this guy was, and everything just started to spin, she said. She dialed 911 while kneeling next to John and had to get up to go into the hallway when the dispatcher asked what apartment she was in. She said she started to do chest compressions with her left hand, and the prosecution suggested she did not provide first aid, noting that her uniform had no blood on it, and the gloves in her pocket that night were clean and unused. So she said the state he was in, I knew it wasn't good. So I don't know what she's saying, like, was it worth trying? I'm not sure. So she had her eyes down during the recording of the 911 call that played in the courtroom, and John's father did the same, and so did one juror. And Guyger was asked, wait, hold on one second. I was gonna pull up that other. So she was asked about the text to her partner, which is Martin Rivera. So while she was still on the phone, she sent texts to him. She was texting this married man, and she told him that she was scared and she had no help to perform CPR. So her explanation was, I was by myself with someone I had just shot. I was alone with him, and that's the scariest thing you could ever imagine. I just wanted to help. And then she was asked how she felt about killing him. She said, I feel like a terrible person. I feel like crap. I hate that I have to live with this every day of my life. I ask God for forgiveness and hate myself every day. So his parents are watching this, and they're sobbing. Then during cross-examination, Hermes argued that Guyger had other options when she heard someone in her apartment, staying in the hall, calling for backup. So he said, for your safety, you should have taken a position of cover and concealment and got help. And instead you decided to go in. And she said, yes, I did go in. And then that was when he went on about she could have used the radio. Michelle, I know that they said that when you're sworn in as a police officer, your job is 24 hours a day. But her going and shooting to kill is a bit extreme to me, but I'm just reading chat. I love these comments. You guys are fired up about this case. So she also asked, or she was asked if she did anything else besides the chest compression. She said she performed a sternum rub that she thought that was a procedure she thought would keep him alive until the paramedics got there. Let's see, another officer who was called to the apartment after the 911 call. Jurors also heard from him. Keenan Blair, he was one of the first to arrive, and he was asked by Guyger's attorneys if he would respond to a burglary in progress call differently than he would if he encountered a burglar. Blair initially said that he would handle a burglary in his home differently than a cop, and noted that he would be ready to use deadly force. So he's pretty much saying a cop should handle it different than the average person. Because she's not an average person. She's a cop. So they're held to a higher standard. I mean, they're there to protect us, right? She had never performed CPR on a person. Oh. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, 24/7. Exactly, Tina. That's what they said. Uh, let's see. So, oh, yes, also earlier in the day, the prosecutor noted that no Southside Flats neighbors who took the stand during the trial heard the loud commands, "Let me see your hands, let me see your hand." And then he asked her, "How could that be?" And she said, "I can't tell you why." And he said, "It's because you didn't say it." And she said, "That's not true." So trial's going to resume tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Um, I don't know. I just don't think that police officers should need to shoot to kill every time. I mean, I don't know, man. We're going to be divided on this. We are going to be definitely divided on this because I don't know. I even go back and forth, but should we be leery of cops that live near us? I mean, they're supposed to be there for safety. They're supposed to make us feel safe. And I'm telling you, if this girl gets away with this and walks, I don't even want to know what's going to happen. Like, it's going to be bad. It'll be really bad. Because a message needs to be sent. You know, these cops are held and should be held to a higher standard. And if she walks away from this, yes, I agree, Tina. If she walks, we're all less safe. Welcome over to the tubes, Chrissy. Haven't seen you here. You like the D lives. The wine is better at D live. Yes, exactly, Michelle. No one is above the law. And that's why you have to keep that in mind. If you're a juror, you know, did they prove that she did what the law states? And I don't think that it should be taken into consideration that she thought it was her house. Doesn't matter what she thought. Her actions are why there is a dead man, an innocent man who was sitting there eating ice cream after getting his wisdom teeth out, sitting there eating ice cream, chilling, watching TV. And in comes this 5'2" cop and shoots him dead. I don't know. And the fact that that bullet went downwards, that bothers me a lot. It is scary, Sonia. I agree. And whoever said the door should have worked correctly, if he didn't report it, I mean, who do you blame then? You blame him because he didn't report it? If he reported it and the apartment complex ignored it, I could see that being their fault. But if he didn't report to his landlord that it was broken, I don't see how you can blame the apartment complex. You almost would need to blame him, and you really want to blame him? Because even if his door lock was broken, you still should be safe in your own home from an off-duty officer coming in and shooting you dead, right? Regardless if his lock worked or not. Shoot, I can have my screen door open and I still deserve to live, you know? And I definitely would want some justice too, Michelle. I agree. I agree. It is a freak occurrence. However, the law is the law. I don't know. If you go too deep with it, you lose the black and whiteness of the law. Well, Mary, that's awesome. I wish I had that. I wish I had an iron gate around my property and in front of my front door. But I have a dog. I have several dogs that protect me. I don't think she noticed the red rug just because she was on the phone. If she wasn't on the phone, I would say no. But some people just don't pay attention. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Have you ever hung out with people who you notice things and you're like, hey, did you notice that? And they're like, huh? They just don't get it. Like, they just don't notice things. But I think they need to put the numbers on those floors or paint them different colors or something so people can differentiate their floor. Because that could get confusing if you're on the phone and you're tired and you're distracted and you're sexting and you're having fun sexting and, you know, did I say sexting too many times? But anyways, she was distracted and maybe she just didn't notice the mat. Yeah, I'm sure she probably won't get murdered. I don't think she should. I had a friend of mine who accidentally shot his best friend and killed him. Total accident. But he still went to prison. Now, his best friend's family was there at the trial and, you know, was saying he would never have intentionally hurt him. You know, he would have never done that on purpose. And they gave him a very light sentence, considering, and it ended up being manslaughter. But, you know, accident or not, whether he loved the guy and it was his best friend or not, he still took his life. So I guess maybe that whole thing, since it was a good friend of mine that happened to, I think about it. And he absolutely needed to be punished, but he didn't need to be punished severely. Well, that's awful, Doreen. That's despicable. Wow. I don't understand that. That cop didn't do his job or her job. So anyway, the trial picks up at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Yes, on Saturday. And we'll be tuning into that in the podcast group. Let's see. Let me turn slow mode off in DLive. I have it on slow mode for some reason. Okay. All right, so yeah, tomorrow 9 a.m. starts over tomorrow, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, and hopefully next week. Do they think it's going to go on the whole week? Because I heard 2 weeks when it started. Yeah, you can watch. Maverick said, the thing though is Amber's well trained. She knew better in many ways. Yeah, I agree. It is sad. Right. That's horrible, Doreen. All right, guys. Well, we're going to tune in tomorrow. If you're not in the podcast page, go ahead and join it. One of the mods or myself will let you in. And we will be doing the watch party tomorrow for the Saturday court, which I've never seen happen. So, go back, dude. Oh, Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, what else? Prosecution has rested, so. Listen, thanks everybody for coming on. I'm a little tired and a little scattered tonight, but I promised that I would come on and do the little recap. So that's what I did, and then we will pick up tomorrow. Definitely. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. I love the discussion. I'd like to take some calls maybe one night and talk about this and get you guys to call in and talk about your opinions and discuss it. So thank you. Have a great rest of your night. I'm going to go chill. But thank you so much. Thanks for the super chats. I love you all. I'm trying to be here more often, so bear with me. Yes, Norma, we have really, really nice, respectful people. And my mods are very, very good about keeping the disrespect out of here. So, Norma, it's always a safe place to come and chat. All right, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.